Hello, Steve White, Steve White, so you know him. Well, there's a little bit of talk about the Studio 86 Megatron, because there's a whole lot of drama because, Megatron was a gun in the original series and you can't sell toy guns anymore, so it's very difficult to produce Megatrons, and Hasbro won't do it. So they made him a tank because he was made a tank into Generation 2, and that seems to be the way to get around it. Like, let's just make him a tank. And it does make a bit more sense for him to be a tank than an actual gun. Because outside of the playability of having a toy transformer that turns into a life-size toy gun, which wasn't really a good idea when you think about it. And I have this little story where I didn't have Megatron as a kid and I wanted him, and one of the relatives of one of my bullies, who was an Aboriginal kid who used to torment me and terrorize me because I was the only person below him on the food chain. So it was like, I think it was like redheads, Aboriginals, gay kids, something like that, on like the pecking order, people to bully and harass. And they had Megatron and I offered to buy it off them. I think this was in grade 6 or something. So he brought it to school to sell to me, and one of the teachers saw him pulling out what looked like a gun out of a bag, and he just about got kicked out of school, and just a whole lot of trouble and drama, and obviously he got angry at me because I got him to bring it to school, and he blamed me. I'm like, and he wouldn't sell it to me, and I didn't end up getting Megatron. I didn't have Megatron until like 2000 and something, when they did Takara did the re-release, which is on the shelf behind me. I think it's just over there. So I didn't even see a Megatron in person until then, I don't think. And I had a really bitter experience where I was going on a school trip, and we were only allowed to have like $20 spending money, and I knew I needed 50, and I said, Dad, I need 50, and he said, you're not allowed to have 50. He was just using that as an excuse. And then I saw Megatron in a store for $50, and I don't know why it was still being sold at that point. It was just like they must have had old stock or something they found. It was like meant for me, and I couldn't buy it because Dad didn't give me the money I knew I needed to have when I went to Hobart, because I knew I was going to find it there. I just knew. So I was bitter about that for quite a few years until I, bought a reissue of it. And I'm probably going to buy the new reissue. They've done one, but okay, so there's that. And there's also some other characters that are being released. They're doing, I think, Thundercracker and the other two Constructicons and someone from something I don't care about. I think there's another Seeker from a Bumblebee, and maybe it's RC. I think they had an RC, but there was talk a little while ago they're actually going to do Studio 86 versions of Thundercracker and Skywarp, which is good because the Thundercracker and Skywarp from War for Cybertron are incredibly expensive. I nearly bought them recently. They were really cheap, but they were also in Queensland right when the flood was happening, so I'm not sure I would have actually gotten it. But I nearly bought it, just missed out, someone else got it, and I still haven't bought one because they're really expensive, but there's a lot of them all at the same price, so it's not like they're going anywhere. And I'm glad I didn't buy them because now they're being reissued. I can get them a lot cheaper. Although it will suck if I have to buy sets of 4, because I think they're doing Thundercracker and the Reflector set. And I'm like, why wouldn't they just have the Reflector set on its own and put the two jets together like they were released before together, or at least release them separately like Starscream? But yeah, so everyone's, wondering how good the Megatron's going to be if he turns into a tank. Is he going to look like the original Megatron? Because he looks like, in some very obscured pictures where you can only really see his silhouette, it looks like they've managed to have him transform from the tank into a Megatron that looks like the original Megatron. But we'll see if they can hide those tracks and make it passable. But so yeah, so that's like the news. We've sort of got an idea of what are going to be some of the new releases coming out in the studio. Basically the rest of the Constructicons, the other two original Seekers, and some random characters I couldn't give a crap about. But I had to comment on that. I had to comment on the Megatron thing, and just celebrate the fact that I can get the Seekers now and not have to pay a fortune for them. And I think that was it. I can't think of anything else. I think I'm done. I feel like I'm forgetting something. And I don't want to end the video and be like, oh, you still had to talk about that. Well, I don't have to. I like to. I'm going to go. I'm just stalling for time, and I feel like I've forgotten something. But yep, I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think of a 4-pack and doing groups, because I really don't like putting characters together like that, because what if if the characters have already been done, and they're just redoing them in comic book colors, cartoon colors, I don't really necessarily want to buy them. So the idea that I have to buy a whole set of 4 characters to get the one I want is always, difficult to swallow and manage. So but we'll see. I'm gonna go. I'm tired. Bye.